My sister was murdered here in the city of Seattle with no investigation. Her body was brought back to Muckleshoot Indian Tribe and buried. To this day, every day I think of my sisters, and she's not the only one in my family who has been murdered with no investigation.
My aunt Geraldine Naha Hendrickson was murdered in downtown Seattle 21 years ago.
My goddaughter, Maria Flores, is missing. She was missing since May 20th, so I know the pain and the horror that's involved with this.
I did have a niece who was murdered about 5 years ago. So these really do come to our people.
We need accountability for the police departments. We need accountability for the state agencies who are gathering the data. We need resources invested. We have an incredible councilwoman on the Seattle City Council, Councilwoman Deborah Juarez, who is a Blackfeet tribal member. After the release of our report, she immediately reached out to us and we began to have conversations and work towards how do we address missing and murdered Indigenous women in the city of Seattle.
I know of Native American women that have gone missing, that have been murdered, that have just disappeared and no one's gone looking for them. We've always known it's there. It left me numb in some ways, normalizing some of the violent behavior that I saw in Indian country within our own people, and then the complete lack of government or state attention to the violence. It's so hard to articulate what it's like to know it and feel it. It's like being in the water. It's all around me and it's there. And it's my responsibility to do something about it.
We were able to work with her office and co-write a resolution that has true, meaningful outcomes that are going to happen as a result.
I do believe that this is an opportunity for Seattle to truly be progressive, to really truly unpack and unweave those racist and biased policies that are embedded in all institutions of power.
The city of Seattle can set the mark for other cities across this nation, and that's what I want to see happen today.
Nearly 50% of our women have been raped. Our men are imprisoned at rates 4 times higher than white men, and our children are put into foster care at rates 4 times that of white children. This shame is killing our people, and I have come here today to say no more. I am not carrying the shame any longer. It is your turn.
Right now, what you have the opportunity to pass is the very first legislation in the country with real, measurable outcomes. We will lead, not only here in Seattle, we will lead this state, and we will show the rest of this country the way that it should be done.
The missing, murdered Indigenous women and girls crisis has been going on for decades. It wasn't until recently that Indigenous stories have taken the stage for media, government, and the rest of the world to pay attention. It has been pivotal for our current leaders to take time to educate themselves and truly understand our history and our diverse identities from one tribe to another. But in 1978, a very important law was passed. A lot of people, it's common knowledge now, but I remember it then. I was 19. The Indian Child Welfare Act. That took an act of Congress to stop the government, both state and local, from taking our babies. Up until 1978, federal government and state and local municipalities could take our children with no due process, no hearing. This wreaked unimaginable, horrific havoc on our traditional family, our social structures, and the breakup of Native American families. It just was very emotional for me when that act was passed, as a woman that had a child that didn't get to take advantage of that act, where my child was taken from me. And so today it was almost full circle, where we're not even talking about the state coming in and taking our babies. Now we're saying the state and the county need to come in and protect our women and listen to us. So today, like 1978, we're correcting and righting the historical wrongs of institutional oppression, as you heard many of the women say today. Missing, murdered Indigenous women, girls is an unjust manifestation of institutional racism and colonization. They're policies, perspectives, procedures that don't value our lives or don't see us as human. Except today, unlike the Indian Child Welfare Act, which took 18 years to get passed, the city of Seattle has bypassed Congress, bypassed the state, and is poised to pass legislation to directly address and fund this very important human rights initiative.
Okay, let's vote. Now you got me a little teary-eyed.
Sorry.
Okay. Those in favor. Those in favor of adopting the resolution, please vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, vote no. The motion carries. The resolution is adopted and the chair will sign.
The tears that you saw aren't just joy. A lot of it is sadness. We've been living this, and somehow we figure out a way to keep living, to love, to have children, to have families, to still laugh. And that just goes to me to the power that's in our DNA. And this is just the beginning.
This really illustrates what it means to have somebody who knows our communities in positions of power. For the very first time nationwide, something with real teeth, that we are going to be able to start looking at how do we address these issues by correcting for racial misclassification, and how do we build trust within the communities.
Native women, particularly in Indian country, our lives being valued, law enforcement, officers, detectives, going to look for us when we go missing, taking us seriously when we've been a victim of domestic violence. And so this isn't just like a passing aspirational, oh, we care. It's we pass a resolution that is robust, that is going to have deliverables. I'm hoping we have more of the moments that we saw today going forward.